Have you ever found yourself inside of a dark room, lights off, listening to sad music? Have you ever been in the midst of a crowd and still felt alone? If that is you, then this video is for you. I'm going to talk about how to overcome depression. I got 6 steps that you could take to start implementing in your life today that could help you overcome depression. All right. I'm going to start by reading from the Bible, Philippians 4, verses 6 through 8. All right. And it says, "Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God." Verse 7, "And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus." In verse 8, "Finally, brethren, whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there is any virtue and if there is anything praiseworthy, meditate on these things." I remember a time in my life when I got married at a young age. If you don't know, I got married at a young age and the marriage didn't work. I was married for 4 years. It ended up in divorce. And going through that situation, it left me in deep depression. And a lot of times I seemed like I had everything together and it seemed like I was winning at life. Whole time I was dealing with depression. And it just amazed me how depression can actually disguise itself and make you think that you are doing okay, and the whole time you're actually not, right? So what is depression? Depression is a mental health disorder characterized by persistently low mood, loss of interest in activities, and a range of physical and emotional problems. It affects how you feel, think, and handle daily activities. So depression within itself, it will cause you to lose interest in the things that you once loved. It will cause your mood to always be low. Hence, you might not even realize it, but you're actually sitting in a dark room listening to sad music and think that it's just giving you this, is boosting you up when actually it's pulling you down. And so I want to, before I give you the 6 steps, I want to talk about the different symptoms. This way that you can identify depression and it doesn't hide itself subconsciously, and it'll give you the opportunity to change the situation around, because what we fail to face, we fail to overcome. And sometimes the best way to start the process of overcoming, or the journey of overcoming something or anything, you have to be willing to identify the problem. And the best way to do that is understanding the symptoms of the situation. Imagine going to the hospital, right? And you show up and you tell the doctor, "My head hurts." And they're going to run tests, because oftentimes headache can be associated as a symptom of something. So in order to fix the problem, you have to identify the symptom and know what the symptom is in order to get to the root problem. So here's some symptoms of depression that you can identify with, that can help to start the process. Because in my own opinion, I feel like depression is actually the opposite side of other emotions that bring about happiness. Just like I'm pretty sure you've probably heard that happiness is a choice, and it truly is. So you have to choose happiness, but what stands in the way is the opposite of happiness. And why I say that, listen to these symptoms. Number 1, persistent sadness, feeling sad or empty most of the day or nearly every day. Okay, sadness. What's the opposite of sadness? Happiness or gladness. So in order to know how to change the symptom or the outcome, you have to identify the symptom. And then once you identify the symptom, identify what is the synonym of that situation. I like to say synonym of that situation because there's an opposite. Just like up, down, left, right, in, out. These things can't exist without the other one existing. So sadness can't exist without happiness or gladness existing, right? So it's just like looking at a piece of paper, right? When you get a blank piece of paper to show you what I'm talking about. Right, so look at this piece of paper, right? You got this side. And then you got this side. And a lot of times what depression causes us to do is just look at one side. And it's usually the side with all the negative emotions on it. And you constantly looking at this side, but you forget about the other side, which if you just flip it over, then you'll be able to identify. So persistent sadness, right? Persistent sadness, feeling sad, empty most of the day, nearly every day. Loss of interest, a significant decrease in interest or pleasure in all or most activities. So the things that you would normally love doing, you lose interest in it. Maybe it may very well be a sign that you are dealing with some form of depression. It can be subconscious or conscious. So loss of interest in things that you love doing on a daily basis. Changes in appetite, significant weight loss or gain unrelated to dieting. If you know you are not on the diet, but you are significantly losing weight or you are significantly gaining weight, it can be associated to being depressed. Whether you believe it or know it or not, it can be associated to being depressed. I can vouch because there's times where I felt depressed and the first thing I wanted to do was eat because it brought some type of relaxation or a sense of peace every time I ate something. And you may very well be in that same boat to where every time you a situation or something happens and it feeds the depression, you tend to feed yourself and you keep eating because you chasing that feeling of relief, that momentary feeling of release, and then it doesn't last long and then it's gone again. So now you have to eat more, right? So changes in appetite, sleep disturbances, insomnia or excessive sleeping. Now, insomnia is you can't sleep, and excessive sleeping is you sleeping too much, right? And all this can be associated to depression. You may very well be dealing with depression and thinking that you're going to sleep it away. Or the depression can be so deep and rooted in your mind to the point where it causes you to stay up and you feel like you can't sleep. So you start taking sleeping pills. I remember when I was going through the divorce that I mentioned in the beginning of the video, it was times where I would take sleeping pills and it didn't do anything for me. Now, these pills were supposed to help me sleep, but the depression was greater than the medicine to the point where the medicine was ineffective in my life. So me taking these pills thinking that I'm going to finally get some rest, and in all actuality, depression was just feeding off of all of the negative energy that I was feeding it. So it caused me to actually stay up longer than versus falling asleep. Fatigue, chronic tiredness, or lack of energy is another symptom of depression. Feelings of worthlessness, intense feelings of guilt or worthlessness. Depression will start to talk to you and make you start to believe lies about yourself, especially if you isolate yourself, if you try to shut things off or keep people out of your life, you get alone to yourself, depression has a voice, and depression will talk to you, and sometimes that voice can seem like the loudest one in the world. So you have to you have to understand that when you are in that season or that state, in that this moment, you may be experiencing it right now, or you may have experienced it, but feelings of worthlessness is just a feeling, and feelings are fleeting. Feelings change, they fluctuate, right? So you never just stay happy. You go through the day, you never just stay happy or excited or upbeat. Is it fluctuates throughout the day. You might feel happy, you might feel sad, you might feel just in the middle, whatever. Those are feelings. So to feel worthlessness when you are battling depression, you have to understand that that is a lie. That feeling will change. You might feel like that in the moment. That we can't immediately change that feeling. You can't just immediately just as soon as you feel it change it. No, give yourself time, give yourself grace, and understand that this is a lie that depression is telling me. Difficulty concentrating, trouble thinking, concentrating, or making decisions. When you are dealing with depression, you will find difficulty in concentrating on what you really want to concentrate on. You might start to watch a movie, then switch, or you might start to listen to a song, then switch. Somebody might even be talking to you, and your situation is so great, or you've made your situation so great to the point where you can't even concentrate on what it is that they even share. They may very well be sharing with you the strategies and the tips, like I am, on how to overcome depression, but because we continually feed depression in our isolation or alone time, it can make it very difficult to really concentrate when someone is in front of us, or we may be listening to something, right? Physical symptoms. This is a lot of people don't associate physical symptoms with depression, but it can very well be tied to depression. So physical symptoms are aches, pains, digestive problems without a clear physical cause. So you have these symptoms, you have these ailments going on in your body. You go to the doctor, and the doctor run these tests on you, and they can't find anything that's wrong. Well, that physical symptom, that ache, that pain, it may very well be associated to depression. If you change depression, your symptoms will change when it comes to feeling the aches and the pains. Think about this. Remember, in your mind right now, go back to a place in your mind that was one of the best moments in your life, and think how that moment made you feel. Right when you were in that moment, you probably could have had a headache, but if something great happened to you, you're not going to think about that headache in that moment. Or you might be feeling some type of way in your body, but the moment something great happens for you or to you, you don't think about that physical symptom or ailment that was once going on, that's going on in your body, right? Only thing you could think about is the good thing that just happened and the feeling that it produced within you. So when it comes to the physical symptoms of depression, the aches, the pains, the digestive problems, without having any clear cause of why any of this is going on, understanding that these physical symptoms can be associated to your depression, and if you want them to change, then you have to change the depression, right? And the last symptom I'm gonna cover is thoughts of death or suicide. Frequent thoughts about death or suicidal ideations. When you are dealing with depression, the last thing you want to do is isolate yourself, again, because depression will talk to you. And depression, in my opinion, gains its strength from when we isolate ourselves, or we just give up or don't try to do anything. I feel like depression gets stronger and stronger and stronger. I don't know how many of you have seen, this is an old movie, but the movie The Mummy, right? In the movie The Mummy, when the powerful mummy, I forgot his name, when the powerful mummy came back and was wreaking havoc on people, he came back in a weak state. But the more people that he killed or came in contact with, he took their souls, whatever was in them became a part of him. And he got stronger and stronger and stronger. That's how I see depression. Depression, it starts out, the situation, something happened to you. You may went through a bad breakup, the loss of a loved one, finances, your marriage on the rocks, your kids just out of control. All these are things that can potentially cause depression. But when you are going through those situations, it's easy to want to isolate yourself and think, oh, I'm gonna get over this, or I'm the only one that's going through this, and that's not the case until you realize that it's more people dealing with the same thing that you are dealing with. So the best thing to do is to not isolate yourself, right? All right, so now I'm gonna cover these 6 steps that you could take that could help you overcome depression. Number 1, seek professional help. A therapist or counselor can provide personalized support and strategies tailored to your situation. Don't be afraid of a therapist. Now, when me and my wife went through what we went through last year, if you don't know, my wife, she had a miscarriage with our 3rd baby boy, Jaira Elion Nelson. And that situation, it was difficult. And when it happened, I was afraid to reach out to a therapist, and I think what shaped my mind into being afraid to reach out to a therapist was what was instilled in me, that, men, we gotta always be macho, we gotta always be strong and stuff, and honestly, that's not the case. If you are a man watching this and you are afraid of therapy, it's okay. Let me tell you, brother, go and get that therapy session. They have a ton of therapists that you can reach out to. They have people that specialize in this. They have people that you can reach out to people that's in groups. Go on Facebook and join a community of people that have went through what you are going through now, and position yourself around those people, right? So seek professional help. Go and get that therapist. Stay connected. Maintain relationships with friends and family. Isolation can worsen depression, so lean on your support network. If you don't have a support network, again, and I just briefly touched on this in the last step that I was just explaining, but find communities. They have communities on Facebook. Don't know if you know this, but you can go to the search tab in Facebook and type in groups overcoming depression or overcoming depression. Just type something in like that. You'll be amazed at how many groups or communities is created centered around the problem or situation or circumstance that you may have, and you can actually join in these groups and position yourself around other like-minded people or people that have been where you are right now, and they can give you their steps, or they can be a listening ear for when you need to vent and get your feelings and your emotions out. So stay connected to either family, friends, or support networks, right? All right. Establish a routine. All right. So structure and routine can provide a sense of normalcy and purpose. So aim for a balanced schedule of activities. I talk about something like this in our 14-day growth challenge, right? And when you establish a routine, it helps to take your mind off of the situation and the circumstance that you may very well be facing. So me, I have a routine where I like to wake up 5 in the morning. Then from 5 until probably 6:30, I'm either reading something positive, listening to something positive, or meditating, or like I'm doing something other than just sitting on Facebook scrolling or sitting on social media just scrolling. Reason being, I want to put positivity in my mind the first thing when I wake up. First thing I want to do when I wake up in the morning, that's how I set my day. I want to fill my mind with positive things or positive affirmations, anything positive. Fill your mind with that. So make that part of your routine. When you wake up in the morning, I actually have two ebooks on Amazon. It's actually on Kindle, but these books are actually devotionals. And it's not like a normal devotional. Usually when you hear devotionals, it's associated with scriptures and stuff like that. And nothing is wrong with that. But when I say devotional, I mean devoting your time. You're being committed to seeing your life change. One of the books is actually Victory Lap, and then the other one is entitled Winner, right? And these books is 21 days. It's giving you different things or strategies that you can implement into your life for 21 days. And the reason 21 days is 21 days, I believe one habit dies and another one is birthed simultaneously, right? So establishing a routine. Next, exercise regularly. Physical activity boosts endorphins, which can help improve your mood. Even a daily walk can make a big difference. A lot of times what happens is when people hear the word exercise, they immediately think about a gym. I got to go to a gym. I got to have weights in my hand. I got to be on these machines. If I can't get a gym membership right now, if I'm not a part of a gym, then I can't exercise. That's what goes on in some people's minds. And I can say that because that used to be my mindset. I used to think that if I wasn't in a gym or if I couldn't get a gym membership, then I wasn't able to exercise. Where in all actuality, exercise just isn't associated with a gym. You can actually exercise at home and get the same results, if not better results, just from working out at home. It ain't so much of what you're doing, it's how you're doing it, right? So with exercising regularly, let's just start walking. Walk around your community, walk around your neighborhood. Walk up and down, like walk in your backyard. Walk out the back door, walk to the back fence, walk back to the door. Just do that a few times. It's exercise. Get up and walk around on it. Want to get more comfortable? Get up and walk around in your house. You got multiple rooms? Walk. I don't care if you got a 2-bedroom or 1-bedroom. You got a 1-bedroom, walk outside, come back inside. Do that 10 times. You got a 2-bedroom, just walk around to each room. Whatever you do, get up and get moving. The reason being so you can release those endorphins that will boost your energy and it'll improve your mood. You want to be in a good mood, change how you move, right? So next, practice self-compassion. And this is a biggie. This one right here is a biggie to me, and I'll tell you why. Be kind to yourself. Recognize that it's okay to feel down and that progress takes time. I say this is a biggie because a lot of what happens in our life stems from our mindset. And a lot of what we deal with stems from the conversations that we have about ourselves. Like it's nobody else. Like you project off how you feel about yourself to others. The way you carry yourself. what you say to yourself will manifest and be received by others, right? So what you are saying to yourself in the season that you are in dealing with depression matters. So again, think about what I was talking about with one of the symptoms of feeling worthlessness. That is a conversation. Like, depression is talking more to your mind than you are talking to your mind. So you have to find words, find affirmation. You can actually go on Google, right? Go on Google and type in 40 positive affirmations to speak over myself. All right? That's just, it's, of course it's more. That ain't just one, but that's something that's a gem right there. You can go and type that into Google, and it's going to bring you a list of positive affirmations that you can say over yourself. See, what depression want to do is keep you from moving and actually taking the initiative to take action, to go to Google to find those words. Depression will do everything, fight you on many grounds to keep you from just Googling. Because if you, for an example, you might watch this video and I say go to Google to type in that phrase and see what positive affirmations you hear that, right? Your mind hear that. But what happens is depression come along and say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Now, depression has just created or birthed procrastination. And now you keep putting it off. But depression come along and say, nah, don't do that. Do that tomorrow. And then you don't do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow turns into a month. And then a month turned into 6 months. 6 months turned into 2 years. 2 years later, you still can't figure out why things haven't changed in your life. You don't even feel like you're depressed, but you wonder why things haven't changed. Because in this season, it's important that you start implementing and taking actions. And what you say to yourself really, really matters. All right? Last one, engage in enjoyable activities. Reconnect with hobbies and interests that you love. They can provide a distraction and a source of joy. This is why I say the analogy I was talking about earlier, right? With the piece of paper, right? Like, at one point, you love doing drawing. You love painting. You love singing. You love reading. You love going outside. You love going walking. You love riding a bike. You love watching positive things. But a situation happened and you turn the page. Now you done lost interest in all the things that you used to love. Now you don't feel like doing any of that anymore, right? And if you take the time to get back to doing, you don't have to do everything all at once. Give yourself steps, right? Take it in steps. Whatever you used to love, go back to doing that. Just because it's a new season, new day, new month, new year, whatever, doesn't matter. Get back to doing that thing that you love. If you go back to doing the very thing that you love, it will bring joy and it will give you strength. The Bible says the joy of the Lord is my strength. So if depression can take your joy, it can take your strength. All right? So those are 6 steps that you can take and start implementing in your life right now to help you overcome depression. I'm not a professional by any means when it comes to like therapy or counseling. Please seek professional help if you really need a professional help. But at the same time, you can still implement these steps and start the journey, right? A journey of 1,000 miles begin with 1 step. All right? I'm Davon Nelson, your life coach. Before you leave, don't forget to hit that bell, hit like, and subscribe so you can stay up to date and get content like this to help you move through life. All right? Deuces.